Hey guys, thank you for tuning back in. Spoken Truth Revival. Last week we spoke about the 5 stages of grief. We spoke about them because they're very important for anybody who's going through any type of situation, storms, and trials in your life. Something that's very important for me, right? But let's recap a little bit on those 5 stages, right? The first stage that we know was denial. After denial followed anger, bargaining, depression, and then after that was acceptance, right? Those 5 stages are very important to understand when you're going through grief, So, but today, and we're going to go into it now after we know about these 5 stages of the grieving process, right? Let's speak more about the healing journey. The healing journey is very, very important, right? And it's broken up into 5 stages as well. I got some notes down here that I wanted to, share and also go with it a little bit longer because I wanted to come at you guys with some real truth, and not just truth, but more as in, tools and things like that, right? So all this stuff is not really just based on my experience. It comes from trauma therapy research, CBT, spiritual integration models by experts such as Gabar Monte, I think his name is, and Basil van der Kolk and others. I wanted to bring, like I said, truth, but also tools that you can use as we go through the whole healing process and start to understand it a little bit more, right? So if you're watching this video, you're probably not okay, or you probably know somebody who's not okay, and you just ran across this because you want to try to help them out, which is fine. But this is exactly where healing starts. Healing starts here at this very point where you start to acknowledge that. In fact, it's one of the first stages that we have during the healing process, which is broken down to 5. This is very important for me. I'm going to share my little personal experience with it because this is all I've been talking about throughout YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. It's the loss of my son. What I went through during that time and how I fell into the healing process or the healing journey, and I didn't even know that was in the healing journey until later on with more reading, more talking about it, more, being more vocal. I also spoke about this in the book that I wrote called Forged Through Fire, which speaks about my journey after I lost my son and what I wrestled with, But let's get into it. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's get into it quick. So the 5 main points, or the 5 stages also of the healing journey, right? We got the first one, which is acknowledge the pain without judgment. Number 2 is give yourself permission to not be okay. Number 3 is start small, start where you are. And number 4 is let God in, even in the mess, even in the middle of all of it. Number 5 is also very important, is to surround yourself in a safe place and around safe people who also understand exactly what you're going through and can give you insight and help. That's the whole point about all of this. So that way we can help each other. People who are going through, who have been through it, and probably are still going through it. I shared in the last video, even though me understanding these 5 stages of the grief and the healing journey, I'm still in the middle of this healing journey. But I've made it a mission for myself to speak to others and to put it out there more, talking about faith, raw faith, unfiltered, and just, expressing it so others who don't know, you can find out from somebody who actually has experienced it, right? Well, we're going to talk about those 5 stages, but I'm not going to do how I did in the last video because I think I did that a little bit too long. And we can actually get into it a lot more than what I did. So we're going to talk about today only just the first stage of this healing journey that's very important. And what is it? Acknowledging it. Acknowledging the pain, acknowledging what you're going through, understanding it, right? Gabar Monte, if I'm saying his name right? He says that suppressed emotions can cause, right, long-term distress. Let me say that again. Suppressed emotions can cause long-term distress. And also another phrase that they use in trauma recovery, right? Trauma therapy recovery is you can't heal what you don't feel. You can't heal what you don't feel. That first stage is very, very important. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to acknowledge the emotions, the things that are going on inside of you that you have no idea of what it is. When I went through with my son, that was one of the things that I had to really, really start talking about it more, but more acknowledge and say, hey, I'm not okay. There's something wrong here and I need to fix this. If you don't take that seriously, if you don't hone into that first stage of the healing journey, which is acknowledging the pain, you're not really going to go too far. You're not really going to go too far into the healing journey. And if you probably start with it, right, you probably get stagnant and just stay where you are. A lot of us go through a lot of problems. A lot of us go through a lot of issues. A lot of us go through very, very hard things. Men especially, and I'm speaking on experience, men especially, I'm not saying that women either, but men I know because I'm a man, especially really have a hard time talking about what's going on inside. We really don't like to get into it. We want to walk around like we're okay, even though the mask that we're wearing has cracks and it's slipping. You know, so then we walk around here and saying, yeah, we're fine. We're trying to go out throughout the day. But deep down inside, we're not acknowledging this pain. We're not acknowledging what's going on inside of us. And to be able to process this the correct way, as they teach in some of these CBT therapies, and also trauma recovery, especially people who have gone through crazy things, right? You have to acknowledge that it's there. So stepping into that, right? Stepping into the journey, you have to get into it, really dig deep, and it's gonna bother. It's gonna hurt. Believe me, it's gonna hurt because it's something that a lot of us are not really comfortable with. I'm one, from experience, I'm not really comfortable about speaking about my experience, speaking about what I'm feeling, speaking about any of that, what's going on inside me. I don't like to get vulnerable, but it's something that I had to change throughout my healing journey. And in my book, it was something for me that really helped me to express what I was feeling. If I had nobody behind me, I expressed it, and it was okay. And the more I got into it, the more I kept writing, the more things kept pouring out of me. Even in the middle of writing the book, I would cry. I was getting emotional because it's things that I really didn't think about at the time. But then it started to happen. You know, one day when my son was cremated, you know, I remember going in there. I remember seeing him for the last time. I remember touching his hair, you know, and things like that. And I remember, you know, participating because I had to see it to the end. And I remember participating, pushing him inside, you know, the oven, whatever they call it, and pushing this button. And I remember after I did that and I came out, I sat in my car and I have the picture of it. I can upload it. I just cried. I cried so hard that it was everything that came out of me. And at the same time, I had this feeling saying that, you know what? It's done. It's finally done. But it wasn't done because I still was holding on to more pain. I was still holding on more things, and I wasn't really truly acknowledging it in a sense of with everyone else, like my wife and my children and things like that. It was a little hard in the relationships. So with the healing journey, like I said, the first step is I don't want to take this video any longer than what it needs to be, and we can get into it more. I want to make it short so that we can really think about it. The first stage, acknowledge the pain, guys. Acknowledge the pain. Understand what's going on. Understand and be okay with it. Be okay with it. Because a trauma like that, like I experienced, a trauma, any type of horrible trauma, is not something that you get over in a couple months, a couple days. It could take years. But as long as you're holding on, and as long as that you on this journey, you're taking it day by day and acknowledging these feelings, because feelings come up all the time. I sometimes still get angry. I get bitter. I get emotional if I think about him, if I think about certain things. But I've learned that it's okay. It is fine. There's nothing wrong with being like that. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. And there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I'm not all right. There's something wrong with me. Beginning process of the healing journey. You guys, it's a pleasure speaking to you guys. Once again, you can follow me on TikTok, follow me on my podcast, Spoken Truth Revival, on Spotify, follow me on Instagram, follow me on all those things, because like I said, this is about helping everyone that has gone through what I have gone through, and it really opened up to my eyes to, I'm not the only one that is going through a lot of problems, a lot of problems. Next week, we'll be speaking on the second step, or probably tomorrow I'll make the video. We'll be speaking on the next step, which is give yourself permission to not be okay. Give yourself permission. It's all right. God bless you guys. God bless you guys on your journey. If you need anything, comments, stories, let's talk. If the ones who have been reaching out to me, you already know, I do comment back and I do reach out, and it's not a quick hey bye. It's a deep conversation that I will get into, and no matter how long it is. All right? Spoken Truth Revival with faith, pain, and the words in between all meet together. God bless you guys.